I decided to play through Pokemon Ultramoon, but with a twist. I have to catch a full team of Rainbow Shinies to beat the game. The odds have been upped, and this isn't a Nuzlocke because every trainer has random Pokemon with random movesets, and I don't want to start all over if I black out. However, if a Pokemon does die, I have to release it. To make it a little spicier, I decided I can't continue with the story if I don't have a complete team of Rainbow Shinies. Hopefully we don't lose a lot of Pokemon because it'll make us take way more time than we have to. I probably just jinxed myself. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because you know you've been wanting to, and without further ado, let's do this. Of course, our first shiny is going to be our starter, and while we do see these 3 cute guys, they're not our actual starters. No, we randomized our encounters as well, so instead we have a Tynamo, a Jangmo, and a Pidove. Pidove? Pidove? Pidove. I went for Jangmo because Tynamo isn't a color of the rainbow, and I didn't want Pidove. I don't even know what Pidove shiny is. I actually found our shiny on the first try, and that was really lucky. This is a gorgeous shiny. This one is in our yellow slot, and I named him Sacred after one of my viewers. Now, I immediately started hunting my second rainbow shiny, and we had some good options like Umbreon or Mudsdale, and even Mega Gallade. Yes, you heard that right, Mega Gallade. I thought something was wrong with my odds since I wasn't finding a single shiny, but eventually I ended up coming across the Mega Gallade. I debated whether or not this was a blue shiny since there wasn't much blue on it, but it didn't even keep the Mega, so we ended up putting it on our blue slot. I named him Ethan, and I am going to continue the story so that I don't just hunt in one spot. I'll make sure I have 6 rainbow shinies before the first trial though. That being said, I caught another shiny on Route 1, that being Shelder. I had no idea this was its shiny, but man, do I love this orange. I named him No One, and luckily we haven't been getting too unlucky with getting the same color twice. I was going to fight Hao, but I instantly ran into another shiny. This one was purple and adorable. It was named Jaxie, and with that, Hao was a complete cakewalk. After that, I went to Hau'oli City to hunt in the grass there. We got even luckier this time around and found a Victini. This totally counts as red, guys. Well, I don't care what you say, I'm putting it in the red slot and naming him Cherry. So far, all of these shinies are amazing, and I don't know how, but we're finding them all perfectly, not running into the same color. Now, of course, we can't continue until we find our 6th rainbow team member, so I started searching on Route 2 for different Pokemon and found that this patch right here has a good chance for some green shinies, with Miss Magus, Mime Jr., and Venusaur. By the way, for some reason it randomized to where every patch has a different set of Pokemon, and it's also completely different Pokemon depending if it's day or night. Anyways, after some time I found a Venusaur, which I was super ecstatic about since I love Venusaur and its shiny is pretty great as well. I named him Spud, and with our team complete I take on our first trial. Now this is Eradicate, right? Wrong. It's an all-powerful Seadra. This was going to be a complete breeze, but Durant came out, and I know how powerful a Durant can be. I ended up leech seeding the Seadra so that it would eventually die and give us health in the process. At one point I went for a Sleep Powder and missed, which was crucial since this Durant's Fury Cutter nearly destroyed Spud. From here I switched into Ethan, who did not tank a hit, but the leech seed was able to finish Seadra off, and I did have to switch once again, but this time into Sacred. He did miss his Fury Cutter, which was huge since I thought Sacred would die, and all it did was use Sand Attack on us, and luckily we were able to hit every single Brick Break for the KO. We were hanging on by a thread. Why in the world would you have a Tapu Bulu? Nothing really happened with Hao since Cherry is a baller, but he did have a shiny Shiinotic, so I guess his Rainbow team is coming along nicely as well. Trainers have a 10% chance for their Pokemon to be shiny. I thought that would be a cool thing to add. Now we're running and getting some items in this cave. I actually ran into a shiny Gloom, which is a green shiny. I never use this thing, but I guess it's worth mentioning just to bask in its glory. One thing that is super cool is I knew there was a Munchlax in this grass, so I hunted it down until I could catch it, and boom, now we have leftovers. I was scared out of my mind for Hala since he could have anything in the world, but yeah, I mean, Hala decided to have a grass and bug team, so that's how that went. On the next island, I ran into Hao again, and he had another yellow shiny, that being Drifloon. Subscribe if you guys like shiny Drifloon. I mean, who doesn't? Other than that, Hao was a cakewalk again. Gladion, however, was not. His first 2 Pokemon were just first stage evolutions, but my worst nightmare came out. Yveltal. For some reason, I just have bad luck with Yveltals and randomizers, and this was no exception. Luckily, I did have Jaxie out and got a big Aurora Beam off, but this thing has Pursuit. I did think I could live one more by a thread and switch into something else, but I was wrong, and down goes the best Pokemon in existence. I got an Ethan for free, and man did I think I could take under half from it, but no. No, we took more than half. Like, how powerful is this bird? At this point, I just sacked Ethan and went into No One, whose Icicle Spear didn't do anything, but thankfully Yveltal was super weak thanks to Ethan. Well, you know what that means, guys. It's time to find our 2 colored friends. Now, I searched everywhere to find a blue or purple shiny, and I wasn't finding anything I liked until randomly I ran into a Serena. We do already have Spud, but who cares? We can totally use that for the purple/pink slot. In search for a blue shiny all the way back in Melee Island, I actually found a shiny Anereef, so I caught it in case. It did take me a while to find some grass, but eventually I found a patch with a Dusknoir, and this was kind of blue. It's like a grayish blue, and it totally counts. I don't want to hear it. With our new team members, Jelly and Nick, I took on the next trial, and let me tell you, this was the most difficult, It's just a young goose. Oh well, goodbye, sir. We are back on track, and from here I went straight to Kiawe, testing my brain with a memory game I've done a million times before. Now this trial's totem was actually a Zoroark, so we'll see. Our Razor Leaf with Jelly did pretty decent damage, and right after a shiny Shinx came out, taunting me. We got a crit on it, which serves it right for taunting me, and Zoroark wasn't a threat, so that's the fire crystal down. I decided to lead Sacred to see if he can get some action in Mallow's trial, but it was a Gastrodon, so out comes Jelly again. On the switch in though, this thing called a Xurkitree, which was terrifying. It did just Thunder Wave us, but apparently Gastrodon here has a hidden power that is super effective against grass types. And most of this run are Pokemon having the move that is super effective to us, but I digress. Right after this, Xurkitree used Ingrain, which was great since we almost tied to Gastrodon, but another Razor Leaf took it out, no problem. For Xurkitree, I went into Spud to Leech Seed, and then after some Razor Leafs, the Electric Tree was dead. That was definitely a little scary for Serena. With all of our trials done in Akala, we can take on our final threat on this godforsaken deadly island. I EV-trained all my Pokemon, by the way, because Olivia is fully EV-trained, and her Venipede was cake, but guess who's back? Back again. This time it has Brian, which is why I switched into Jelly. This tree also had Ancient Power, but I had a Citrus Berry, and on our second Razor Leaf, we got a crit knocking it out. Her last Pokemon was Terrakion. Where did you find this, Olivia? This thing should be full attack and speed EV'd out, so
I'm in danger!
I switched in Spud on a Bite, which didn't do much, and I tried going for a Sleep Powder, but he flinched us with Bite. We take one more Bite and put it to sleep. I did Leech Seed, but this woman has a full heal. How prepared are you? Now the combination of leftovers and Leech Seed did put us more healthier, so I didn't switch yet, and yeah, we flinched. Surely we don't flinch twice, right? Right? Alright. I risked a crit here, and no crit and no flinch, but what is she even at? 1 HP? What sorcery is this? Either way, the Leech Seed did get the W for us. That was our scariest fight yet. Upon arriving on Ulula Island, Hao challenges us to a battle, and I'm not really in the mood after what we just dealt with, but fine. Alright, Oshawott. Not a good matchup, but not too bad. I went for a Charge Beam that did half, but of course he has Pluck, which means he's going to eat the Citrus Berry I had on Cherry. Why wouldn't it have Pluck? Since I went for Charge Beam again, Hao has 2000 IQ and went into this Motor Drive Electivire for free. And it's shiny. Stop rubbing it in. It's funny though, he switched into Jolteon thinking I'd go for another Charge Beam. Like, why would I do that, Hao? But our Psychic did half, and right after you guessed it, he switched into a literal Heatran to tank my Psychic. Come on, Hao, you're not good. From here, I U-turned into Nick, which thank God I did, because why wouldn't it have Water Pulse? What is going on? On top of that, he confused us, but we did break through to get a Brick Break off. Unfortunately, we couldn't break out of confusion after, so I was forced to go into something else. Hao's pretty predictable, so on his Water Pulse, I just went into no one, and I clamped his butt to death. He did go back into that Jolteon, doing lots of damage on my switch into Spud. I didn't think I could kill with Razor Leaf, so I put it to sleep in case, but this game is out to get me right now. Psychic? Are you for real? Anyways, the Sleep Powder was for nothing though, since a Razor Leaf did in fact kill, and since it did that much to Jolteon, no way a Drillbur can live, so that was a nice break. But the break wasn't over, bye to Oshawott as well, and finally that Electivire is out again, and I actually went into Sacred to do something, but yeah. No, come back. Jelly, however, ended up getting a crit, finishing this unlucky turn of events. To make matters worse, our next trial was Tapu Bulu. Oh, come on. I did manage to burn it, which was huge. Primarina was also called, which means Spud could totally come out and wall these two. I went for a Leech Seed, and at least Primarina's Icy Wind didn't do that much, which means we got pretty much all of our health back due to grassy terrain, lefties, and Leech Seed. Unfortunately though, this Primarina encored me, which means I had to switch. Well, come out, Jelly. Dude, Jelly is on a roll with these crits lately. No, I mean it. Even our U-turn crit Tapu Bulu. From here, Cherry cleaned up Bulu with an Incinerate, but this Quillfish was left. Oh, if only we had a super effect. We do. Anyways, on the route below Mali City, I found a random shiny Hitmonchan, which I named Ozzy. Now, I was trying to find an orange shiny since Shelter here wasn't cutting it anymore for this point of the game, since it doesn't stay orange as a Cloyster. So I ended up finding a Delcatty, but I didn't really think this was orange. And we had a yellow shiny already, so I just ran from it. Delcatty's pretty bad too, so I don't know why it's not a fairy type. Missed opportunity in my opinion. After what felt like centuries though, I found a patch on Mount Hakulani and there was a couple of orange shinies such as Golem. But the one I ran into was a Drampa and my reaction was just like, what? Drampa shiny is orange? I seriously had no idea, but I'm not mad at all. I named him Marcel since he kind of looks like a Marcel. And now I was fine taking on the next trial, leading of course our beautiful Drampa. Of course this Archeops has Dragon Breath though, but this was actually good because Berserk activated, giving us a special attack boost. So let me tell you guys what's going on. He just gave us a special attack boost. We have choice specs. And we have 252 EVs in special attack, meaning that was our easiest trial yet. Right after this trial, we finally evolved Sacred into Hakamao, but I was still kind of scared to use it. The next threat I ran into was Guzma. His first Pokemon was no problem, but his second one, well, that's up for debate. I had already taken some damage with Jelly, and Landorus is definitely scary. Oh, and why wouldn't it have Air Slash, by the way? Like, what is it with this game? I went into our tank Nick, and it was still doing a lot of damage. We did pop a Citrus Berry on his second one, and man, did our Psychic do nothing. I knew I had to get someone in for free since he was doing too much, and before I say what I did next, doesn't Guzma look like a G just sitting there with a Landorus in front of him? What a baller. I did manage to get a burn off and lived, but I did sack Nick here after going for a cheeky Shadow Sneak. From here, Cherry can finish him off and Shroomish stands no chance. I can't imagine what it would be like if he had 3 legendaries on his team. Sacking Nick there was good news though, because now I can evolve no one into a Cloyster who just happens to be blue. It was all calculated, I promise. After defeating the almighty Guzma, we went on to Aether Paradise. Oh wait, you want to know what happened to Nanu? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Man, if Hao is doing a Nuzlocke right now, he's in bad shape. They're just targeting him. Good for me though. After this fight though, we evolved Sacred once again and we can finally use this beauty. Guzma should learn not to be excited over a crit. I just decimated your Shaman, buddy. Remember how 10 seconds ago I said now we can use this beauty? Yeah, well, this Chronominable has Moonblast. Moonblast! It didn't even crit and it killed me. Come on, man! The rest of her team was garbage to make matters worse. My middle name is Pain. I don't know why you're making that face. There's so many Pokemon in the grass. And that's the team you ended up with? Well, now we need a yellow shiny, and I searched for miles and miles until I found something incredible. Back on Mount Hakulani, I found... No, not you. I already have one. I found that Arceus could be found in the grass. Now, it wasn't too common, and I was going for Floatzel, but after not too long, something amazing happened. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we got it. Sacred ran so this thing could fly, which makes absolutely no sense since Arceus is the god and he came first. But who cares? The lucky person who this was named after was Deoxys, since I thought it'd be funny, and I was like, wait, I can't change this thing's typing. But fret not, friends, apparently Z crystals can change the typing. I had no idea. At first I went with the rock typing, but eventually switched to the electric type. If I were Lily, I would just kick the Murkrow off the bridge. But you know Lily, always gotta be dramatic with it. When I tell you I led Deoxys for everything, I mean it. This guy was unstoppable. I even led it during our Dragon Trial, who was a Totem Tentacle. This fight wasn't too hard. We Psyshock with Deoxys, and Spud could easily take out Sharpedo, and a Zekrom did come down, but I think we're I'm so tired of having Pokemon that are just straight up unpredictable. Oh wait, this is a wild Pokemon, meaning it has its Learn Set moves, meaning this thing gets Zen Headbutt naturally, meaning this was preventable, meaning I just lost Spud for no reason. Huh. Anyways, die, both of you. Well, might as well use that Hitmonchan I found earlier. Alright, I swear if you take a Pokemon from me. What in the world? Oh my god, that's hilarious. Alright, that was easy enough. I don't know why it had its body like that. Well, anyways, right after this, we need to take on our final trial, that being Mina. Before that, though, we must fight her, and she actually had a Drampa herself. I did want to try out our new shiny because he was about to pop. Oh, come on, a Play Rough crit? How many times am I going to get unlucky in this run? Now, I did have a Gloom that was green, but I didn't want to be stuck with 2 grass types again. I remember I went into Sandy Cave earlier, and there was a Scraggy in there who has a green and yellow shiny. After some time, we did find it, evolved it, and this is an amazing shiny. I named her Tamira. Now for Mina's trial, we had to fight some captains, and Alima and Lana were super easy, but Kiawe, he led a Talonflame, and I led Scrafty. I said screw it and just stayed in, and it just used Flare Blitz, which was good, but he sent out a Manaphy next. Fearing the worst, I sent out Jelly, and of course this thing had Brave Bird, which is funny since Talonflame is the one that's supposed to have Brave Bird. Eventually God finished Kiawe, and the totem was up. Just a regular Rabambi, right? Wrong, it's a Crocodile. Tamira's Brick Break did a lot of damage while this thing just set up a Sandstorm, and why wouldn't a Fairy come out right after? I know how this goes, so I immediately went into Jelly to take a Play Rough. Right after, we take a Foul Play, getting a super low, and yeah, we missed a big Power Whip, which could have killed Crook. Since they both had physical moves, I went into no one who took half from both foul play and a play rough. I kinda wanted a free switch into Deoxys, so I just sacked Cloyster going for an Ice Shard. Look at that health bar. From here, an Extreme Speed killed Crook, and the keys got Earth powered. I'm not too upset about Cloyster since his special defense is horrid, and I went straight to finding our next blue shiny. I searched around a bit and wound up finding a Sandslash and Diglett Cave. I did run into a Purloin, which would be fine if it stayed this color, but it doesn't. It turns red. We did find what we were looking for though, and man do I love Sandslash. I named him Arctic since it was fitting for the ice type, and now we can continue with the game. Hapu was our final kahuna, and she let a Quillfish. I took it out with a Thunderbolt, and then she sent out a shiny Crabominable, which switched on my second Thunderbolt into Hippowdon. From here, I hard switched into Jelly, and unfortunately one Power Whip didn't kill, but she couldn't heal all the way with a Hyper Potion, so another Power Whip was able to destroy this happy hippo. Once Crabominable comes back out, Cherry took care of that, and Druddigon was basically dead to a couple of Psychics. Bro, why does that sun look so graphically bad? I never noticed that before. Anyways, I decided to fight Molayne first, and I wasn't leading anything but Arceus for these fights. I didn't actually have anything to hit this Exeggutor with, so I swapped into Arctic, who took a Flash Cannon on entry. One single Icicle Crash was enough to take this silly Pokemon out. A Volbeat? This late in the game, Molayne? Well, it's a good thing I have a Rock-type move. I am so done with this game at this point. Alright, Cherry, take this thing out. Alright, a Regirock? Did I just lose a Pokemon? Yes. But was it going to make me play more passively? No. Good thing Victini is a mythical, tanking an Earthquake. Goodbye, Regirock. And for his last two Pokemon, Deoxys was able to clean up with an Earth Power and a Thunderbolt. Olivia was a cakewalk since Deoxys had Calm Mind and Recover, so all we had to do was set up to +6, recover if we took damage, and we completely sweeped her entire team easily. For Acerola, Tamira was actually the one to do the sweeping since she had two ghost types which we crunched until they were dead, and then two Pokemon being weak to Brick Break. Tamira is so defensive that Steelix was the only one doing damage to me. Her final Pokemon was the scariest of all, a shiny Cherim. I mean, A for effort, I guess. You know, it always seems like I'm having trouble with Kahili, even in the randomizers. See, I led God as she led a mere Carnivine. I switched in Jelly, but like it has been happening all video, this thing has a super effective move, this time being Brave Bird. Come on, man. And it was a crit? Oh well, I just sent in Cherry to give her a taste of her own medicine with a non-needed crit. Kingler came out next, so I went into Deoxys to Calm Mind and recover until eventually she poisoned us with Poison Jab, so now we're on a timer. A Thunderbolt killed Kingler, and I felt like I couldn't kill Florges with a regular Thunderbolt, so I went for a Gigavolt Havoc, and down goes that. A Gourgeist came out next, so I went into Tamira to knock her out with a Crunch, and Seeking met the same fate. Alright, it's time to see if we can answer the question. Can we beat Ultramoon with a team of Rainbow Shinies? If I can't beat Hal right now, I'll have to hunt a brand new team of Rainbow Shinies. I really do not want to do that. He started with an Aerodactyl and I started Calm Minding. He missed his Focus Blast, which was big, but that pretty much meant this thing had nothing to hit us with. I set up to max special attack, and that was it. Aerodactyl was dead to a Thunderbolt, Garchomp dies to an Earth Power, Cofagrigus dies to a Thunderbolt, so does Dusknoir. He had a Raikou, which is cool, but that goes down as well. And his last Pokemon was Cryogonal, so that meant we beat Pokemon Ultramoon with a team of Rainbow Shinies. Okay, that was really like anticlimactic. I'm so sorry. I really like the team I ended up with, and honestly, Hao had a pretty stacked team if you think about it. I can't imagine what it would be like if I hadn't had Deoxys on the team. Guys, go ahead and subscribe because you absolutely have to if you made it this far. And tell me, what was your favorite Rainbow Shiny from this run? Also, let me know if I should do this again. And I will see you all next time. Bye!